Okay, so before we go any further with CSS and HTML, I want to introduce you to Dreamweaver, and we're going to set up your space in Dreamweaver so that everything else is a little easier. But the first thing I need you to do before you continue is to make sure you have the lessons folder on your desktop. So you should be in the Mac lab, and either in the local folder or the network folder, there should be a folder called lessons, okay? If not, then I need you to go to your Moodle, and here's our Moodle site here, as you see. You see it probably looks similar to yours. And right here, Dreamweaver Files 1, you're going to download that. I'm going to open it just to show it to you, but there's a whole bunch of different files in here. So you just want to make sure that you download that onto the desktop or into your folder on that desktop. It won't let you download directly to the desktop on on those Macs, but you can put it into the folder, into your local folder that you use for this class. Okay, so we want to make sure that you have that before we continue. Okay, because that's really important for us to do this next set of things. So check that out and then come back. Also, if you really find that you love Dreamweaver, I only go through the basics of Dreamweaver. I show you how to set it up. We make a simple website and then we move into Wix. If you really like it and you think web design is something that you really want to do, this is a really great training course. It's free. You just go on and you follow the course. I think there are 14 or 15 different lessons, and it will make you much more proficient in Dreamweaver, just for your knowledge. So now that you have the folder and it's downloaded into your files, we are going to open Dreamweaver, and I'm going to do it along with you. Okay, so to find Dreamweaver, you're going to go to your Finder. Okay, that's where you find things, and you see it starts with A. You're going to go to Adobe Dreamweaver. I'm using CS6. CS6 should still be on those computers, and you're welcome to use it. If you want to use Creative Cloud, go right ahead, but just know that I'm working in CS6, so mine might look a little different from yours. Okay, we go to the app, and we double click on that app and let Dreamweaver open. It's going to take a little time to open, so understand that, and I'll cut out the middle of this here. So once your Dreamweaver opens, it should look something like this, okay? This is a welcome screen, as it says right here, and you won't have all these probably because unless someone else has been working on Dreamweaver in that computer, then these are the files that they've been working on. But we just want to close that. We don't need that right now, okay? We want to look at the space, okay? This is the Dreamweaver space, and mine is set up more so than yours, I'm sure. Although if the students from last year set theirs up properly, it should look similar to this. And there are several things we're going to do here. So let's look at what my instructions say first. We go to the welcome screen, we close it, and now we want to make sure that our icons are viewed in color. So we're going to go to View, and then we're going to make sure that this color icons is clicked, okay? So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to navigate to one of those files in the folder, okay? And I'm going to show you how to do that. So we're back on Dreamweaver. Remember, you always have to click back over into Dreamweaver. Make sure it says that if you're going to be working on it. So we want to go to File, Open, and yours, again, will be a little different because mine's sitting in a folder on my desktop as well, but a different folder. So I go to Desktop, I go to Web Design, that's what mine's in. I go to Lessons, and then I'm going to click on Lesson 1, but I have set yours up. I've only included the files you need if you downloaded it from Moodle. If you're going through it on the Mac, you're going the same route I am. Lesson 1, we want to get to Start Here. So however you get there, if you downloaded the Moodle files, you'll go directly to Start Here. If you didn't, you'll go to Lesson 1 and Start Here and Open. This just gives us something in there to look at. It's a practice file, okay? The first thing I want you to notice is that we have code on one side and pretty stuff on the other. That's because we're right now in split screen. Right here tells us the file we're working on. So if I X that out, the file will go away. If I add another file, they line up along here. Right below it is the view we're going to have, okay? So I can go to code view and just work in code if I was crazy, or if I was a genius with coding. Split screen, that's what we'll be in most of the time. Then there's design screen if you want to see what it looks like when the world sees it. Notice this little thing, that means we have a broken file there, but I'll explain that later on. Live is something when you're testing, you want to see what it looks like up on the internet. We don't need to worry about that now. Mostly we're going to worry about staying in split screen. If you like your HTML bigger or smaller, you just drag it in and out. And now we're going to look at the way we set up. Again, mine is probably more set up than yours, but there's something I want to show you. When you go to Window, everything you can possibly use is sitting here. So you can always go and get it anytime you want. But I'm going to click Files off. So I'm going to say Files isn't there, although it's one of the things we definitely want to have. So when I go back and I click Files, there it is. It shows up. Now here's the cool thing. On yours, it'll probably be sitting out like this. Okay? It's going to open for you. Well, we can then just take it, drag it over here, and when you see that little blue line, see that blue line? You let go, and there it is, okay? And we want to do that with several things. So let's go back here, and we want to make sure that our workspace is set up similar to what I have here. You want to have files, assets, and snippets. So I just checked out the files, right? I know I have files. Okay, I don't have assets and snippets. So let's go up here and let's find assets. There it is. It'll pop right next to it. If I want to move things around, because I like files first, I can just do that. And then I can move it over here. So you can play around with it. So now I have files, assets, and snippets. Exactly what I asked of you. So that's the first thing you want to do, is make sure that's there. Okay? Next, we want insert. Move insert panel to the top of the workspace. Okay, I have that here already. So let's, I don't know if I can move it. Let's go to Window. Insert, I'll remove it. There we go. Okay, so Window, we're going to click on Insert, and mine automatically moves up here. If yours goes to the side, you could do the same thing. You just drag it over to the top here, and when you see the little blue line happen, you let go. But I always like mine, it's all these little guys right here is what your inserts are part of. So that's what you want to see there. Next, Tag Inspector. Yours may be called DOM. Mine is called Tag Inspector because I'm in 6, and mine is down here. See it? It's right there. We can bring this up as well. There we go. So my Tag Inspector's here. Let's put it first, just for fun. Oops, I just pulled it out. So what do? I just put it back in again. So my Tag Inspector's above now. Okay. Next, we want CSS Designer and Transitions. So my CSS transitions are in. Mine is called CSS Styles, and it's right here. Yours may be called Designer if you're using CC, Creative Cloud, sorry. Properties is a big deal. Properties goes at the bottom. Mine would be here, see, Properties. So you would go, I'm going to undo it just so you can see it, and then I would put it back. And then there it is. You want to drag it right across the bottom here. And I'll show you. Let's see. Let me see if I can pull it off. Yep, I can. Okay, so I'm going to take it and I'm going to pop it right there. It moves to the end, but I could just slide it over there. Oops, I went below. I'm working on a very small computer here, so don't mind me. So anyway, I'll fix that later. It's stuff you can play around with. Okay, I'll stop it there when it's a small computer. And I'm not using a mouse, by the way. Doop. Doop. There we go. It's at the beginning. As long as you have that and search. Search are the only two that we really use. And search isn't all that important, but it's one that you may find helpful. Okay, so what next do we ask for? Oh, we also want to make sure, so that's everything we want in your panel. And then I'm going to show you how to save that. We want to make sure that your browser is Safari. And that's important because you're going to be checking your work, and we want to make sure Safari's on all of those computers. I try to put Firefox on most of them, but if they get cleaned out, it may go away. So you're going to go over here to the word Dreamweaver, and you're going to go to Preferences. And you're going to make sure Safari, see I have them all here, but Safari's the one that is highlighted. Chrome's great, but Safari's what's on all those computers. So that's the one we want to use. And hit OK. Now that I know this is the workspace I want to work with, I want to save it. So every time I come in, I can just go to this workspace, right? You don't have to keep bringing these things in. So you're going to come over here to My Space, and you are going to hit New Workspace, and you're going to name it. I'm going to name it Susan's Space, just for fun. And you'll see it just turned into Susan's Space. So anytime I go into this computer now, I can just go over here and I can click on Susan's Space. I can go back to My Space too, which they happen to be the same thing right now because I didn't make any changes. Or I can go to Susan's Space, and my computer, my software is set up exactly the way I left it, the way I like to use it, okay? So in review, we want to make sure that we have Files, Assets, and Snippets up here. We want to have a Tag Inspector, CSS styles and transitions, and they can be somewhere in here as long as they're on the right hand side. They're easiest to see. We can combine these if we want to and put them up with this one. It gives us a little bit more room, okay? You want to make sure you have your insert up above here, and you want to have your properties down below here. The rest of these might not be here when you look. Sometimes they show up with it, sometimes they don't. But as long as you have the properties, that's the really important one to have there. Make sure you do that. So work on getting this all put together, and then we are going to talk about how we use this, okay? So once you have all your panels set up, I want you to take a screenshot for me, and I want you to upload it to Moodle for credit, okay? And I'm going to explain to you how to take a screenshot on a Mac in case you don't know. If you want to take a screenshot of the entire screen, everything you're looking at right here, you hold down the Command, Shift, Cap Locks, and 3. And you'll hear the little thing go off. That will go into a local folder. They have it set up so that it won't go to the desktop, but it does go into the local folder. If you want to make a specific picture, screenshot, you do Command, Shift, Cap Locks 4, and you will see this little bullseye thing show up. And then you can just take it, say I just want to show the insert panel, and go like that. And when you let go, it takes the picture. So those are just little tricks. I know it's a lot of buttons to hold down, but once you know it forever. So take a screenshot of your panel. You can do the Command, Shift, Cap Locks 3. And then I will have a space for you to upload it onto Moodle to make sure that you have your panel set up properly. Thank you.